Hello and welcome to Conversations on NTA Network, a program that's about you and me. And today we have some fantastic guests in the conversations room. I'll leave them to introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Maimuna Umi Abdullah, Coach Didi. I'm a personal development as well as a mental health coach.
Awesome.
Prince Kevin Finefair, security and energy consultant and a public good advocate.
Great.
My name is Titi Ojo. I'm a business and communications coach.
All right. Awesome. So, in the spirit of celebrating the Nigerian woman, in the spirit of International Women's Day, Women's Month, we're still doing that here in the conversations room. And today we're going to be focusing on the refined woman. How refined are we as Nigerian women? So the conversations team went to the streets, spoke to some people, and we'll be hearing their opinions right now. Stay with us.
Good manners, comportment and all of that. It's kind of been on a decline in society generally, and a lot of people just wave it off. You get it, but maybe if you catch them in formal settings, they might want to uphold all of that. But ladies, I think when you think about it, especially with our culture, that you tell ladies to sit right, all of that. So yeah, I think ladies do have more good manners than guys. Yeah.
So I feel we are assimilating cultures of different foreign kind of areas and so on, because the Nigeria culture, as we know, our tradition is basically not that. So I feel our mode of dressing as ladies has apparently changed a lot.
Example, I'm a Yoruba. I can say it has diminished right from then. It has diminished, it has reduced drastically even in Yoruba, whereby we hold on to that the culture of good manners and good behavior. We don't normally in the olden days in my village, we normally prostrate, lie down flat for our elders. But now hardly will you see someone bending like this, talk less of prostrating. We are now in era of handshake. Someone who is old enough to be your father, stretching your hand to him to shake him. Women now see all these immoral things as a normal way of life now. They see prostitution as there is something they call it now. They will say hooking up. What are you hooking up? You are hooking up. You are nonsense. And guys too, they see drinking, substance abuse as flexing. So who is fooling who?
The girl that doesn't greet or show good manners, they don't actually value that girl at all. This our community always feel that okay, her parents didn't train her well, this and even it's not even hard. They actually blame. They always blame the parents for not training her well and stuff like that. Anything men does is right, even if it's wrong. The society takes it as it's right because they are guys. They can do anything they don't feel like.
Actually, it is not true. Just like I said before, it depends on the environment you grew up. Environment actually changes people's behavior. There are a lot of women out there that are very, very good. You talk to them, they respond in a very polite way and in a very mannered way. So I don't believe that women have changed. There are a lot of them out there, both in the offices, they dress well. Those ones that are not dressing well, there are few among the ones that are dressing well and are mannerless too.
The society now, we feel okay, it is me, it is my thing, it is my body or whatever. It is whatever I want to do, whatever I want to wear, that's what I'll wear. And then we actually, as ladies, we don't feel like the society is looking up to us. We don't feel like even our younger ones that are coming up are looking up to us. They'll just be like, everybody have his life. Oh. Anybody that wants to do like this should do like this. If I want to do like this, I do my thing. But the truth is, this society we are, as Africans, as Nigerians, we have culture. We have, I don't know, it's just the decadence in the society that is causing all of this. But we have culture that we should respect. As an Hausa lady, if I know that going out without my veil is going to put me in trouble, I won't go out without my veil. As a Christian lady, if I know that, okay, what I'm wearing is actually not cool, it's not actually something I can actually go out with, I shouldn't do that. But with the society, be like, okay, dress to kill, dress to kill, dress to kill. That is what is actually killing us. When you dress to kill, you go, somebody looks at you from his mirror, maybe from his car, he looks at you and then he gets accidents. You've actually dressed to kill. You've killed somebody, isn't it?
Okay, so that we've heard from people on the streets on good manners and our composure, etiquette. Are we truly losing it, Kevin?
Well, it's a mixed grade for me in the sense that we're actually evolving. Society is evolving, and because we have these mixed cultures in Nigeria, Nigeria is not a monopolistical country. Nigeria is more of a cosmopolitan nation. You have different cultures, different traditions, and the fact that we have access to digital information and all media comes to the country, the likelihood of these things to evolve is actually there. So we're not necessarily losing it, although yeah, some people are taking things to the extreme because we see some of these things on our screens and tend to play them out in reality. So with the nature-nurture relationship that we're supposed to be having is where we should be focusing on. What cultures do we have? Traditional belief system, religious belief system, how we imbibing that in our children to see that they grow up with such kind of cultures and you don't get it. If we generalize things, then we're actually not making helping ourselves. We cannot generalize it. We have to look at it from cultural basis or traditional basis or religious basis. If you're a Christian and you're dressed in some kind of manner that completely conflicts your tenets, then there's a problem. If you're a Muslim, you dress. It's expected that there's expected standards, based on our religion, expected standards based on our cultures, so we have to look at it from that perspective.
Yeah.
Before we can say we're losing it.
Yeah. There was something about what the guy said, Titi. He said hooking up and flexing, which are words you hear a lot. I don't know what your thoughts are about that. It resonated to me because I was like, okay, I hear hooking up a lot, but I didn't actually relate it to prostitution as such. Do you think it's the same thing?
I think so. Hooking up, I've heard even guys talk about hooking up as in let's hook up someplace, and at the end of the day, what they want to hook up to do is let's just get high on something.
Yeah.
You see ladies say let's hook up at a particular place. We have some online platforms now. It's the hook up platforms.
Yeah.
There's a guy in my church actually on Sunday. We're just talking, and he said he has an Uber service, and one guy in the car, I think it was a passenger, spoke to him and said, you know what, you can do a hookup with some of these older ladies. There's a platform right now that you can, if you register on it, just give me your name, I'll put you on it. Somebody will just call you and say, I need someone for maybe 2 hours. They're all older women, gigolos, or using gigolos with all them.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, this car you're driving, forget, in 1 month you're going to change it. He was like, tell me about this. So I said he just let the guy on to let him finish. He said, okay, I'm going to send you my name. I said, yes, I'll just put you on. It's a hookup. So there are these women. So it's a platform right now, and for them it's legit. It's right there. So this kind of things are happening, and the guy called it a hookup actually. They hook you up.
I know Coach is waiting to say something, so why don't you just go ahead?
About the hookup?
Yeah.
Well, I honestly, for me, I didn't know hookup meant prostitution. I would just think hookup is let's meet somewhere.
Hang out,
have a lunch date. I could tell you let's hook up later in the day and have lunch. So honestly, for me, it's just meeting someone, socializing. But in the context she said, it's definitely prostitution.
But that's what it is.
But
that's what it is because they use words that we're familiar with as codes to carry out these things. Hookup is basically it.
Wow.
It's simplifying what society will frown at and making it to be more acceptable. So a guy is going to a particular state or location, is asking for hookups so that to get someone who can come in to pass the night with him, or a girl is coming to and she's asking for the same thing. So Society is actually evolving in such a manner that we are losing it completely. But we have to begin to look at it from those bases I actually mentioned earlier.
In that context, I think I agree. In that context, I think it's within context.
Right.
If you are traveling and you are in a new place in a hotel and you tell someone, I need someone to hook up with for the night, of course it means prostitution. But if I tell her, can we hook up later? I'm asking her out to lunch.
It's a lunch, yeah, but I'm saying that those words that we're used to is actually being used.
Yeah,
They're
code.
coinages now as codes. If you look at our kids, they send short messages that you don't even understand what it means.
Scripted
right?
messages.
It's scripted. They come up
Very
with.
cryptic messages.
Yeah.
Now, Kevin, I know you have kids. Do you think that our children are losing? He talked about people giving handshakes to old men. I don't think, are your children like that? I don't think so. My kids are, I have 7-year-old twins. My children will not shake their grandfather. They know what to do. So I don't think we are losing it completely. Maybe to some extent, but I think there are some
I
parents
think
out there.
what he said was a bit generalized, which is actually out of place. Everybody, like I said, I'm not from that western part where you have to prostrate or do those things. I mean, we know how we greet our parents. I'm from the Niger Delta region, and yes, you have to do some form of obeisance and congratulations, but not necessarily prostrating. And my kids, they wake up in the morning. With today's reality, we do hugs. You say, come here, baby. You give a kiss on the forehead and all of those things.
Yeah.
If they grew up with such kind of culture, and I would often tell them, look, you don't fear anybody, you only respect. So if you don't need the person's name, you ask for the name. You greet him by the first name with a preface with it.
Yes.
To show, you don't call somebody auntie or uncle. No. If the person's not your uncle or auntie, don't say that.
Okay.
We need to teach the kids in this other perspective. Now, they know, my kids see you on the road, they greet you like as if they know you before, sir or ma. And people tend to look at them like, what are these ones? They are so, bushy, kind of. Yeah, people say that to them. In some cases, we're walking on the road and greet someone, they don't even answer them, they don't even respond.
Yeah, that's what it happens.
They don't even respond. So I told them, see, if you're walking and the person's not looking at you, don't say hello.
Don't say hello.
Yeah, don't say hello.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's sometimes embarrassing when you greet someone, the person doesn't respond. They feel it. But because they tend to want to show respect at home, to give me that validation, they tend to do it often whenever we're out.
Yeah.
And that is weakening them. That's what I want for them.
But Coach, do you agree?
No, actually I don't, honestly. I teach my kids to greet everyone they come across, regardless of who the person may be. When we're walking together and Mebaru is passing by and he's older, I tell you, say hello. It doesn't matter the class. Sometimes they answer them something they don't. And I make them understand it's not on you, it's on them. You are a bigger person.
Yeah.
You are doing the right thing. If they don't answer, it's all about them. And I tell them sometimes you don't even know what the person is going through. Perhaps he didn't even hear you because he had so many things he's thinking about. So I make them not to even worry about the response, just their own duty, obligation to say hello. And I think that's where we're getting it wrong. Yeah, and what she said again about, someone said something about the society and westernization. The truth is, it's declining. We are emulating the white people, Europeans, their standard, and it's not us. And I tell people most of the time, anything to do with etiquette, it's basically accepted behavior.
Yeah, but Coach, we can't wrap our kids in bubble wrap and protect them from what's out there. They will be westernized to some extent.
To an extent.
To an extent. There's TV, there's social media. We can't, I don't know, Titi, if you have anything to say about that, but I think so.
Can I add something?
Yeah, sure.
For me, I don't think it's all about a bubble wrap. It's all about empathy. Because what I teach them is whatever you do, however you treat people, it should be the way you want to be treated. So it's all about how you want to be treated. And if everybody is empathetic towards other people, then we will not be mean. If you don't want another person to be mean to you, you will not be mean to another person. So it's just about being kind to people. And I think that's what we're losing now. People
Which
are no
is
longer
key.
kind.
Yeah.
Being kind, empathy is key. When I said I don't want them to just say hello, because see, you know how you feel. If I say hello to you, you don't respond.
I feel bad.
You feel bad, right? So what you do next time, you want to be able to be sure that the person is looking at you. So if there's no eye contact, you don't say hello.
No, I understand that.
So you don't miss the point, or you don't get embarrassed that, because someone is not saying hello back to you or not responding. That was the point I actually made.
Right.
Empathy is key. it's something that we don't have anymore that we need to begin to teach people, and that's what I know. I actually put my kids. I'm actually very intentional with my kids, very very intentional, and it's important that we teach them how to show empathy in a relationship and in how things flow. But that's the best way we can get results.
Okay.
Or else we miss it.
Yeah. Titi, your thoughts on empathy?
Well, first of all, I'll say that it's about upbringing. Actually, most of us are a result of where we've come out from. So I'm Yoruba. My prostration is, of course,
Second nature.
But my kids don't prostrate to get me in the
They
morning.
don't?
No, and I don't even see anything. I've never really looked at it like, oh, you should. I don't know. I guess I've been out of the house for a while anyway, and I grew up also kneeling. But today, if I go home and see my parents, I'll still kneel down to greet them. I don't have a daughter anyway, so maybe if she wasn't kneeling, I would have said.
Okay.
But it was until I visited my kids some time ago, and my son was greeting my mom in a certain way. My mother said, your children don't know how to prostrate.
Wow.
I was like, and it was kind of a reminder for me at that moment, like, oh, that's true. Because maybe somewhere, and maybe elderly people as well, like my parents, and they're just greeting like, hello, grandpa, and they're just passing, and the guy is wondering, you don't know how to prostrate. Your mother not teach you that. But the truth also is that Western culture, we've had a lot of infiltrations over the years. Our kids are exposed to a lot of Western media. Even we are parents, we've been we reprogrammed, whether we like it or not. Some of us have been reprogrammed without even knowing it. It's until someone says something and I'm like, oh, that's true.
We've let our guard down
Yeah,
just
that's
a
it.
little.
Yeah,
Like
we
we
have.
The
have.
interesting thing, I had a boss, the program manager when I was on the UK project.
Okay.
And they've lived in the UK for as long as I can remember. So she came around for this project. And anytime our kids come in, the guy prostrates like with his entire chest on the ground. I was like, my God. I had to tell her, like, this is how this guy greets everyone. He said, yes, I've told him, he's a Yoruba boy. That even in London, where we live, if we go visiting any of our friends, he has to prostrate. That is it. And I see him do that. The way he goes on the floor, in fact, I'm like, let's help you. Even the daughter. So I'm like, it's really about upbringing. She has to taught her children exactly that.
But speaking about daughters, do you think we were harder on the girls in terms of you have to be a lady, you have to behave, you have to, be a certain way versus the boys? I know you have boys, but what do you think about girls? Do you think we're being a bit too hard on
I
our
think
girls?
our parents were harder. We are not.
They were harder on us.
Yeah, they were hard on us.
Yes.
And I think they made a mistake. And we cannot make the same mistakes our parents made. I have raised my children. When my kids were growing older, they became teenagers. We had a timetable. Everybody had a day. The boys had a day. The girls had a day. On your day, it's your turn to cook, to clean, and to make sure everybody comes down for prayer. You are responsible for that day.
Right.
And I didn't think that simply because you're a boy, so you shouldn't cook, you shouldn't clean. And but you see, that's different from our parents. Our parents raise girls to work and serve. And I keep saying it. I have this program I do on mental health. We have been raised to serve. Serve our parents, serve our siblings, serve society. And when you grow older, you're going to serve your husband, serve your in-laws. You're always serving. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a noble thing. But we weren't taught to serve ourselves as well. So all we do is serve, serve, serve. And we have to change that narrative. I raise my daughters to understand that before they can give out to others, they should give to themselves first. You cannot give what you don't have. So I don't distinguish between the boys and the girls. In fact, I make the boys work harder. Perhaps it's not fair, but I do, because I tell them, you are men and you have to be able to raise good children as well. So serve your family. So both should serve. And the thing about, sorry, can I add something? There's something about our culture. No matter how much we try to emulate the Western culture, we need respect. I think the core of our culture as Africans is respect. Today you talk to a child, you're talking to a child and the child is playing with his phone. Can you imagine?
I didn't know that, but you always know that once it's time for grammar, that you need to give grandma's time. It's key. Connecting the kids to that is also important. We don't get to sexualize and create this gender disparity. Every child must be groomed to show empathy and to show leadership. At home, I have a boy and a girl that lives with me, and my kids, there's no difference between